All right, so away from the politics now. We just want to bring in Willis, the word master, joining us live and direct from Kisumu City. Willis, it's great to see you. You're wearing red today. I guess it's going to be fire, fire, moto, moto.
Fire, fire, moto, moto. Betty, you don't miss words for wonderful, things or events. And for that matter, Betty, one thing that I've really loved is the way you've been having that great run. Anyway, how is the capital city?
All right, well, thank you very much, Willis. I'm looking forward to tonight's lesson. But let's start with word on the street before we get to everything else.
Back-to-nations. Mimi si kusoma bwana. Mimi kazi yangu ni ya Juma.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Percutaneous. Percutaneous. Percutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Octaneous. 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 Octaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Yeah. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Picutaneous. 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 Pacutaneous. 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 Pacutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous. Pacutaneous.
Wow, Willis, you've heard there quite a number of pronunciations. So I won't even try to do this because I'm not even sure about it. This is a word meaning affected through the skin. So what does it mean? How is it pronounced, Willis?
Betty, we have two people, in fact, two men who have got it right tonight. And though they were not very sure the way they were pronouncing the word, but we say percutaneous.
Okay.
Percutaneous. And remember, we also say simultaneous, not simultaneous. Simultaneous or simultaneous. So we say percutaneous injection. Percutaneous.
Percutaneous. Got it, Willis. Even I wasn't sure about it. So tonight I said, I won't be laughing at other Kenyans and I'm not even sure about how to go about it. All right, Willis. Moving on to this.
Laughing at people, I always say no. You don't laugh at another person because you never know. You may laugh at another person whom you feel has mispronounced an English word, only to realize that you also have, a wrong way of pronouncing it without knowing. So we say we can laugh for a lesson, to learn, but not laughing at somebody with a way, or maybe some people try to demean others. When other people may not pronounce a word correctly, but nobody is perfect.
Nobody is perfect. Okay, Willis, moving on to this other word, V-O-U-C-H. How do we go about it? Vouch, vouch. Tell us about that.
Many people say vouch. Many people find themselves saying vouch, V-O-U-C-H. But the correct or acceptable pronunciation of that word, Betty, is vouch. To vouch for somebody or to vouch for something. Just like we say couch, not couch. Couch, a couch. That is C-O-U-C-H. But when we have C-O-A-C-H, we say coach, coach. But our word here is vouch, to vouch for somebody or to vouch for something.
All right. Willis, this other word is also one that I don't like to see because of the word, the way the letters are arranged. Quite a difficult one. I'll spell it out. M-Y-R-R-H.
Oh, you are talking about that substance that is obtained from a tree and may be used in, making perfume or medicine or something. We say ma. That is M-Y-R-R-H. Ma. Ma. Mane mane kwa Kiswahili, if I'm not wrong, Betty.
Yes. Well, ma. Got it, Willis. Moving to the next one.
Yes.
Ma. Moving on to this one. IGNOMINIOUS. Ignominious. Is that correct?
Oh, Betty, that word means disgraceful or humiliating.
Yeah.
But you say ignominious.
All right.
Ignominious.
Ignominious.
Me has the primary stress. Ignominious.
Ignominious. Got it, Willis. Got it. Someone
like
tell
when
me.
we talk about ignominious defeat, that is a humiliating defeat. Ignominious.
Ignominious. Got it, Willis. Now, Willis, in the list here, I'm seeing that you had put up the word as we know it as unopposed. Is there another way to pronounce this word?
Unopposed. You say unopposed. Now, the problem is many people say unopposed. Unopposed.
Okay. Yeah.
Very many people say post, but you say posed. Unopposed.
Unopposed.
Opposed, so and so, unopposed. He went in unopposed. So letter S takes what we call the voiced sound Z. A voiced sound, Betty, is that sound that is produced with the vibration of the vocal cords. So that letter S takes the sound Z like a Z. Then you say unopposed, not unopposed.
All right.
Yes.
Moving on to this other one, and I'll spell it out for you. JOWL and also BOWL. How do we go about those two words?
Betty, when we talk about JOWL, that is jowl. That word refers to the lower part of somebody's cheek, especially when it is fat and hangs down. That is this part. You may see somebody who is fat with this part hanging. So that is what we call jowl, a jowl. But when we have BOWL, you say bowl, not bowl. You say bowl. Just like I said the other time, that English spelling and pronunciation, you may find it to be irregular in certain cases, just like you'll have a word like horse and you have was. You'll realize that it's only H and W which are different in the sequences of the letters, of the letter sequence or the spelling of the two words. But one is horse, the other one is was. Here we have jowl and bowl.
Bowl. All right, got it, Willis. Moving on to this other one. Do we say immigration, immigration? Which is which?
To begin with, Betty, you say immigrate. To immigrate. Then the noun is immigration. Many people talk of immigrate, immigration, which is inaccurate. That is wrong. You say immigrate as a verb and immigration as a noun.
Right. Immigration. Got it, Willis. Moving on to the feedback question, and this one comes from Coletta Kirwa of Eldoret. I'm seeing quite a number of people who've asked questions on Twitter. Maybe we'll handle some of them. But this one here comes from Coletta Kirwa in Eldoret. She's asking about this word, a word that many people say christened. Which is which, Willis?
Betty, we have the word Christ.
Yeah.
But when we talk of that word, what many people say christened, it should be pronounced as christened or christened. You don't say christened. You say christened or christened. Just like we have hasten and hastened or hastened. So these are aspects, which we should be very careful about, especially when we come to the phonology of English. That is the speech sounds in English or the sound system. So you say christened or christened. What you should avoid is christened.
Okay. Got it, Willis. So it's christened.
So, Betty, now that you've talked about the case of Coletta Kirwa of Eldoret, I think we should also handle Honorable Robert Komole of Swan Kacheliba, that is West Pokot. Honorable Robert Komole, you say celebrate, to celebrate, then celebration,
Wait.
celebration. Then you also say parliament, parliament,
Willis.
but assembly is assembly. Yes, but you have a question?
Yes, you said celebrate, like a word that we know as celebrate. Is that the word? Or celibate?
Betty, I want to repeat, and that is for clarity, that what commonly lands on our ears locally sometimes may not be the accurate pronunciation.
Right.
But we also have what we call the nuances of pronunciation. There are certain minor aspects in which you'd have a slight difference, which may not be very significant. But when we talk about RP, that is received pronunciation, the pronunciation of that verb is celebrate. Celebrate. Do you remember when I talked about elephant?
Yes, I do.
Locally, depending on what your ears regularly hear,
Yeah.
you may find it sounding, weird or even unique in a way, unique in a negative way. You get
Yeah.
what I mean by unique in a negative way?
I get
That
it.
is that which is not normal.
Yeah.
But one thing that I want to share with you, just like we talk about elegant, elephant, celebrate.
Elegant.
Elephant, elegant, celebrate. Letter E, the second E in the three words takes the short sound E. So you say celebrate. But if somebody says celebrate, you don't have to, pin that person down.
Yeah.
The problem that we have locally, Betty, is when we don't understand the phonology of a language, and then we go on what we call conjecture or assumptions,
Yeah.
we may find ourselves sometimes saying, now, what is this? But the point is, Betty, if you have to
Celebrate.
get it right, just struggle to get it right.
Okay.
Celebrate, and you have
Elegant.
to get it right.
Okay,
Yes,
Willis.
elegant, and we have elephant.
All right.
But if somebody talks of elephant, celebrate, elegant, those are now, the slight aspects which we should not be very, very concerned about when they are not significant. That is when, if I could take you through a lesson on also what we call approximations.
Okay, Willis.
But that one would be a class lesson.
That's a
Betty.
surprise. Celebrate, elegant, like she looked so elegant. I'm not even sure if people would understand what I'm trying to say.
The accurate pronunciation. Many people understand, Betty. I want to be a bit honest with you tonight.
Okay.
Don't say that many people may not understand. Sometimes maybe what I don't understand, I would think that other people may not understand.
Yeah.
But Betty, there are so many people out there who would even be shocked
Yes.
when you would be surprised at such kind of pronunciations.
Okay.
So many people are aware or unconversant with standard English phonology. So
Okay.
we should not assume that
right.
it would sound weird. Just like when we started with pronunciation, you remember? It was like, what, Willis, are you kidding? Then later, you realized, and so many other Kenyans realized, that what we thought was right in terms of pronunciation.
All right, cool.
It's pronunciation, and many people knew about it. But we have to learn, Betty.
Yeah.
That is it.
Okay, Willis. Any other words that you have for us tonight?
So we also have Jonathan Okwemba, who, your word is a bit tricky. You say portmanteau. Those are words which, a combination of two words which retain a meaning. Portmanteau words. That is technical. And you also say Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic victory, or you can also say victory. Then Samuel Mwangi of Nyeri. Samuel, you say laboratory, not laboratory. Betty, do you normally hear of laboratory or laboratory? Which is which for you?
Hey, I can't... Laboratory.
Which is which for you, Betty? Is it laboratory or is it laboratory?
Laboratory.
Yes, that is
Gillard,
it. Laboratory. We don't have laboratory. But there are people, if you tell them about laboratory, they say, now what is that? Because what is commonly heard locally is laboratory.
Yeah.
But if you can check that word and get laboratory, then I would give you a prize. So what is important? Let us check.
Okay.
The spelling and pronunciation of words beyond assumptions, imaginations, or what we call conjecture. It helps in careers of serious communication, Betty.
Okay.
Now we have Bishop Joseph Mogaka. Oh, Bishop is with us. Friday briefing, Betty. We are briefing somebody here by the name Joseph Mogaka, Bishop of Church of God. You say Psalms. Don't say Psalms. Psalms is like somebody talking of calm. Calm, no. You say calm has returned to the city. Calm, not calm because L is silent. In the word Psalms, P and L, you'll find P silent. L is also silent. Then Ahmed Guhad, you say donut. Donut. Abdi Rizak Kontosh, you say rendezvous or rendezvous. Don't say rendezvous. Avoid that. Rendezvous, no. You say rendezvous. Rendezvous. You can also say rendezvous. That is a word from French. Otherwise, Betty, I think that would make it for tonight from our feedback questions. But now, the next thing that we can work on now is the surprise word for tonight, unless or until you have any word from those who are sending words or questions on the internet.
No, it's okay. We can do the surprise word finally, and then we wrap up.
Okay, Betty. Yes. Then, Betty, we have this word. If you can remember your days at school, you talk of, those people who like reading so much. Many people called them, or still call them, bookworm.
Yeah.
Bookworm.
Yeah.
That must be what you hear quite often. But
that's what
Betty,
I say.
We don't say bookworm. You say bookworm. Worm. You don't say bookworm, you say bookworm. And I've done the phonetic transcription below that word. So you'll realize what we have here, Betty, is the long mid-central vowel sound from the digraph O and R. So you say worm, not worm. Bookworm. Just like we say to the worm, not the worm. The worm. Don't talk of the worm. But remember, the formal word or the right word for that is just worm. To worm an animal. To worm an animal. But there are people who choose to use the worm and then they say the worm, which is inaccurate. So then we come to the confusing words, Betty. We also have hookworm, tapeworm, and all that. You don't say hookworm, you don't say tapeworm. Tapeworm.
We have to wrap up.
Hookworm.
Yeah.
Then we have the two confusing words, Betty. The upper word is saw with the long vowel sound O. Saw. So, we talk of a sore throat. Not, we don't talk of sour. Sour, no. Saw, S-O-R-E. Then the lower word, you say sour. Sour milk, not sour milk. Otherwise, Betty, when English gets to be English, sometimes it can be very tricky.
It can be very tough. And I'm seeing here somebody here who's Moha Funky Wawajiru, who's a staunch viewer of Friday Briefing, saying,
Moha.
Yeah, let English be English. So we'll leave
English.
it there.
Let it be English, but Betty, some of the words are very tricky. And if somebody misses the pronunciation, which is accurate, then we also have what we call approximations. Those approximations have so many factors that determine when somebody may not get, even what I call received pronunciation. That is the standard form of English pronunciation used in Britain.
Got it.
Not everybody in the UK uses that. But what you have to understand is the RP also has other approximations or varieties. But Willis, that is that, and that is all for tonight, Betty.
Hey, Willis, like I mentioned, you were wearing red for a reason. Thank you very much for those pronunciations and the lessons. I mean, my biggest surprise really is elegant woman or elegant dress.
It happens.
Okay, Willis. Thank you very much. Willis, the Word Master, joining us live and direct from Kisumu County. If you want to reach him, you can tweet him at Willis Ochieng1. That's his Twitter handle. Or you can just choose to wait for Friday Briefing here every Friday, and you can get to learn other pronunciations. All right. So we